Can you say to know yourself to 100%? Literally, can you say to know all your fears, all your mental patterns, all your goals, all your character traits? Can you say to know yourself to that point so that literally in every single situation, before you even react to something, you know exactly how you will react? Can you say to know yourself to that point? Personally, not, bro. Personally, not at all. But I have seen one thing, a very interesting thing. I've seen that by getting to know myself better and better, my life actually improved. Because I know it sounds obvious. I know it sounds obvious. Because how can we live a good life? How can we live a happy life if we don't even know ourselves? Sounds obvious, I know. But most people, and at least that was the case for me, don't really know ourselves. And I found a really, really, really good trick to get to know myself and to therefore improve my life by a lot, bro. By really a lot. And the discovery of this very simple technique actually started a few years ago when my life was still a mess, bro. When I used to come back to school, and the first thing I thought about was getting down and play some Fortnite on my PlayStation. And if you have a PlayStation or had a PlayStation, then you probably know what a party is. And imagine me and my friends, we were so toxic that we were insulting each other the whole time. And I was so annoying that they would literally kick me out of the party. And when I felt lonely and bored, what did I do? I closed my door, and I went into the bathroom, opened some XXX tab, and spent an hour or more watching hentais and porn and messing up my mental health. And I was very, very unsatisfied with myself, so that every single time that I looked in the mirror, I kind of felt ashamed. And the thing is that at that time of my life, I saw my brother that was starting to work on his body and was starting to become physically attractive and get the attention of girls. And I wanted that too, bro. So I thought that I had to change. And I started to watch YouTube videos on self-improvement, how to change, and I started to make summaries of the videos, but I never really implemented. Never really implemented it, so I never really improved that much. But by watching more and more of those videos, I actually understood that to improve, to change my life, I had to start taking action. I had to go outside of my comfort zone and push my limits. And so that is what I started doing. I started, to look people into the eyes more. I started to go in new places. I started to talk with people that I didn't know. I started to slowly approach girls. I started to go for runs, in the woods, and maybe take an ice bath, and then I started to go in and take runs in the woods at -30 in winter, And so I was basically pushing my limits more and more and more and more and pushing my comfort zone even more, because at the beginning it was like small like this, like a little ping pong ball. I know it sounds silly maybe to you, but I literally feared to ask the waitress for a bottle of water. I was so scared that I would literally ask my parents to go and order for me, because I was scared, I was uncomfortable of asking the waitress for what I wanted in a restaurant. Think about how crazy that was. And so maybe you're not at that level. Maybe your comfort zone is bigger than that. Maybe it's smaller. That is not a problem. That is not a problem, because I've seen that the more I was actually pushing my limits, the more I was getting outside of my comfort zone, the better it actually became, the easier it became. And I've seen that I actually got to know myself more and more. And especially last year, when I was in exchange year for 10 months away from home, there I got the opportunity to really push my limits, to really go on adventures alone and push my limits. And in those adventures, I really got to know myself in ways that I never experienced before. I got thoughts that I had never even imagined that could be in my mind. And I made such an amazing internal work, because when we are with other people, we are pushing our limits, but we are with other people, we're kind of influenced, right? Or that was at least for me for a very long time, and I'm still working on that. But when we are alone, bro, at least that is what I've seen on myself. When I was alone, there was no one judging me. There was no one praising me for what I did or did not do. That is where I actually understood what I truly wanted, who I truly wanted to be. There I understood what my fears were, what I truly wanted, who I wanted to be, what I wanted to do. And all those things, in those moments where I was alone, pushing my limits, there was no one watching. That is where I got to know myself the most. And so I have set a rule for myself, and that is very simply that every single week I plan at least one adventure that I will do, ideally alone. So for example, next week's adventure will be to run a marathon. And here you don't have to do the same thing. Maybe your comfort zone is smaller than that. Maybe it's already bigger. Don't care about what I do. The best advice that I can give you is to just look at your life, see what you're kind of scared of doing, but you would love to do, and plan that as next week's adventure. So literally for me, I started out by writing things like, approaching 3 girls and asking them for what time it was. I know it may sound silly, but that was how small my comfort zone at that moment of my life was. And now I would be really interested to know what you think about it, what you think about this technique, if you have a better way to get to know yourself. By the way, don't forget also that you will have the summary of this video in the description down below, so if you want to recall the main ideas, you have them down there. And remember also that if you like this video, I will be posting other videos like this one, so make sure to subscribe. And now we get to this week's quote, which says that at the end of the day, what other people think about what we do doesn't really change the value of the action, right? If someone praises something that you do, or if someone judges something that you do, does that change the goodness of that action? No, right? So why do we even care? And why don't we instead focus on really doing the best action that we can? Why not, bro? Why not? Anyways, I wish you all the best and see you in the next video.